Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, I pray you are feeling fantastic, because that is your nature. And when we submit to the one and only, that is his promise fulfilled. Now, that said, cancel Kanye culture is real. And if you're coming here and you're thinking I'm going to be defending Kanye, wrong, sorry, you stopped in at the wrong channel. And, you know, there's still time to get back on the highway and keep it moving, all right? That's it. I just want to add my complete and total lack of faith of any sort that Kanye is anything other than a severely programmed individual. And I had spoken about it years back when reportedly he had his first emotional breakdown and they gave him shock therapy. But I noticed that there was a transformation in his character and his politics before and after this shock therapy. And he'd also, you know, like before that, gotten together with the witch Kim Kardashian. In my strict opinion, she's definitely a handler, a severe handler, and she was there to reinforce the programming because Kanye, I guess he's talented. I pay no attention. I don't listen to people that I don't like, and I don't like him at all. But he's talented, and after this shock therapy, he came out and literally he had dyed his hair blonde, and I was just trying to fathom what was the programming that would have happened to him. And I had imagined that they would just have been reinforcing the concept that white people are fantastic. Don't you dare say another thing against white people ever in your life, Kanye. And the way he was speaking in terms of he wants to, you know, be open-minded and be a free thinker. That's complete satanic doctrine. That's Aleister Crowley rhetoric. I looked at that and I knew he gone. And when I just saw the way that he was, you know, behaving after that shock therapy, he was in, you know, Trump was his boy, and he was just going on and on with all this stuff. And he was saying that, you know, I do believe that slavery was a choice. What? I was like, didn't Tommy, sort of a man, say the same thing? And now you're going to come out here as if it's legitimate on a world stage? Stop. And then all the lunacy things that, you know, starting a church, and now I guess that's all over. And then he wants to run for president, and there's talk he's going to run for president again. And even when he started trying to resurrect his reputation with Black Us before the White Lives Matter, and he's been like that forever, wearing the Make America Great hat all over the daggone place. He was insulting Kim. Now, the level of insults he was hurling at this woman who was supposed to be his wife, and she was basically his owner, it just made no kind of sense whatsoever, where he just, you know, was like, I forgot exactly, like a white supremacist or something ridiculous that he was saying in terms of this woman that you lived with her all this time and you didn't notice there was something really wrong with her. You didn't notice that when she sits down on a chair, she doesn't actually sit all the way down on a chair because her butt is so daggone fake. You didn't notice any of this? And now all of a sudden you do. And I realize it's because of this, what they needed Kanye to be to Black Us was a handler himself. That's what they don't understand why we're rejecting Candace Owens. I almost said it the other way, and I have to keep myself from saying that way, because the fact that I talk about Fukushima radiation and who's directly responsible for it, white people, they don't allow me to use the Procyon Loter word, and Procyon Loter simply means, okay? They didn't understand why we didn't accept, and we refused to accept Candace with her, like Blue Lives Matter. The only people who are being treated badly in America are police officers. Really? They're shocked that we didn't accept her. And the same thing, the devil has no concept of us as independent people. He really does see us as, not only is it necessary for him to own us, but that there's a level of just mindlessness that will make us into permanent slaves. There is a certain level of our thinking that is just on an automatic, because we could separate and be done with the devil any minute. Oh my goodness. He's over. He's done with. The proof, not my opinion, the proof. Okay? He's killed the friggin' Pacific Ocean. Oh, goodness, I have to do a whole nother share about that later. But, that's so easy. Yet, there's a certain part of our we don't want the responsibility of believing in one another, because that entails work. And I think a certain portion of us do just rather, let them worry about the infrastructure of society. Let them worry about, making sure all the stoplights are working and we don't have to worry about stuff like that. I'm just looking at, like, how can we keep believing these devils? I'm not saying it's voluntary. It's also because of the program. It's also because of the massive distractions, the horrible miseducation. That's what leads us to that. But overall, they're just shocked when we still have our own self-love, our own amazement, because basically we're a whole nother species of people, but we're the origin of all the other ones, and we really don't have the low self-esteem that other cultures do. When you look at big fancy buildings, we tend to get overwhelmed, because that's what a lot of them are built to do. Same thing as in Constantinople in ancient Byzantine Empire after the fall of Rome, is they were renowned for making these structures that were so intimidating to the vassal states that would come through to give them, taxes or gifts or whatever. They made sure I think they even had a throne that would raise up from the back so that it would give this mystical aura to the emperor. And so when we look at buildings, we automatically assume, oh, this must be an amazing empire, amazing civilization, when it's often a sign of the low self-esteem of its citizens. And that would happen in Europe all the time, where, these great cathedrals, as soon as one got built, 10 miles away, the other town said, we gotta build one too, because now we look like we're, nothing. You only have to get in this back and forth over buildings if you really just kind of feel overall like you're a piece of crap, no matter what you do. So when we look at these folks, we tend to just put them on a pedestal. But our nature is, once we've got a moment of like sanity, of peace, we're pretty content. Like Brother Yapo shared with me the stats that prove that the wealthier black people are, the more we do just enter a state of peace. We don't kill each other over inheritance. I mean, we could fight when, woo, grandma and grandpa passes, whoa, the battles back and forth over just, like, that's my little Chotsky, okay? Are epic, but at the same time, once we figure out, okay, you get this, you get that, and a lot of us, like me, I just step back and I'm like, look, I got my memories about grandma and grandpa. That's good enough for me. I ain't getting into no battle over Chotskys. A lot of us will just sort of step off and live, right? It's these dudes, and what they do, and they're so desperate that they have a whole vast army of operatives and NK Ultra persons. So overall, in terms of Kanye, what I mean is, now he's being kicked off of Twitter and I don't know if it's Instagram or whatever over his most recent comments about persons who are so heavily protected. I can't say the persons I'm talking about, but I know you know who I'm talking about, all right? And that their history, whoa, is vast and very, very well hidden. And woo, if you know about it, you suddenly, the scales just come right off of your eyes. And so he's been kicked off, but I think to myself, this is right behind his t-shirt mess with the White Lives Matter, and it was, his fashion show in Paris. And I didn't say it, but it's so true. It's not that white lives don't matter, which they don't to white people. Otherwise, they would do something about all these small aircraft that are crashing because of the Wigner effect, right? There was just another one where a young white woman who you would think that they would just, oh, we gotta save her. They don't give a damn, okay? Right? She did. She was a pilot instructor, flight instructor. She and her passenger went down. I'm not laughing about that. I don't wish anybody any harm, right? But I'm just saying they don't matter to each other. But what the comment is, and I've heard other people say, is Black Lives Matter was a statement of protest of just how the police and their lies and all the rest of it were making it seem as if our lives were worth nothing. And others have said, if you have a cancer, a rally to cure cancer, which has already been cured, stop. You don't have to say, and diabetes too. Cancer lives matter, and diabetes too. Nobody takes it as it's against diabetes. Oh, you diabetes people, we really can't stand you. Okay? It was just something to focus on us valuing our lives, and hopefully, the whole world, but really, our lives don't matter to us. I don't care what the world thinks of us. We free, okay? We just gotta put the evidence out there far and wide. Value those in our community who are really, really done, all right? So for him, after all of that, and a lot of people came out because it was easy. It's one of them oppression porn, easy things to talk against. And a lot of folks who might be operatives who had to say something, all right? And they were pretty much, the black folks were coming out saying, you're going too far, Kanye. So all of a sudden, he's got to jump on something and make it seem like he's like our leader. He is an operative. He's a handler, right? Please do not be fooled by this label. Because I see some people say, like even with Candace, they'll say, well, sometimes she says the truth. I don't care if a broken clock can tell the right time twice a day, if all the other times it's just wrong, wrong, wrong. I even saw someone post old photos of Kanye with his one black girlfriend. Like, that's not who he is right now. He's dating more white women. Come on now, really? And what they want in all of this is for us to think that, because both Kanye and Candace are peddling the idea that the Republicans are somehow or another going to be a rescue. No. Okay? They're even worse than the Democrats. And the Democrats are intolerable. Right? Because ain't none of these people coming out here saying that they're using us as a face of every single debauchery that Helliweird keeps shoving in front of the whole world. Right now, that's part of the reason for the war in Ukraine, which they made it real after a while because they saw so many people were saying, wait a minute, that does not look real. And it wasn't initially. Right? But Putin is out there saying the West is pushing all of this friggin' perversion on everybody because they have no friggin' choice. They have to make this, wokery seem as if it's real and legitimate. And in order to destroy us, that's why they put us as the face of it. So everybody just goes, look, it's all these black people. But we don't have these hospitals out here that are giving children friggin' castration medication that they call puberty blockers. We don't own them hospitals, just like we don't own the nuclear power plants either. So yes, this is something that is global. They have to destroy the world in order to have a hope of maintaining their hegemony. And that means they have to destroy the chosen people. And they'll use whomever they can to convince us to stay in hell by going and siding up with the Republicans, who have absolutely no hesitation in hating us. I don't mind them from that standpoint because at least they're honest. They can't stand us. But why I want to be with somebody who, if they hurt us in any way, shape, and form, would not feel anything at all. I'm not saying the Democrats would either, but I'm just saying they're no different, right? And so that's why they keep pushing Kanye and Candace on us, because they hope that they could convince us, well, you better go out and vote. You better go out and vote for somebody, right? You got Demon A and Demon B. Make your choice now. No, I want freedom. A through Z. I want freedom. Okay? Alright, I've been talking a while, so let me get on off of here, family, because I got more to talk about today. Straight Black family pride, and we are out of here. Peace and blessings.